Hello, this is Diane Zach. Chapter 13 provides an introduction to the repetition structure, more commonly referred to as a loop. Programmers use a loop when they need the computer to repeatedly process one or more program instructions until some condition is met, at which time the loop ends. This video shows you the steps involved in coding and testing the My Dream Car version 1 application, which uses a loop to make a message blink several times. It also will show you a different way to code the application, as well as how to stop an infinite or endless loop. First, we'll open the code editor window. Now open the code template for the button Click Me Controls click event procedure. Now enter a comment that describes the purpose of the procedure. Now declare a counter variable that will keep track of the number of times the loop instructions are processed. The first step in the algorithm, which is shown in figure 13-9 in the book, is to assign the number 1 to the counter variable. The second step in the algorithm is a repetition structure that repeats its instructions while the counter variable's value is less than or equal to 20. The first instruction in the loop is a selection structure that determines the current value of the LBL message control's visible property, and then takes the appropriate action based on the result. The remaining loop instructions refresh the interface, delay program execution for 1/4 of a second, and update the counter variable. Now we can start the application by pressing F5. Click the Click Me button, and the LBL message control blinks 10 times. Click the Exit button. As you learned in the chapter, counter variables must be initialized and also updated or incremented. The initialization is done outside the loop because it needs to be done only once. The update or increment is done inside the loop because it needs to be processed for each iteration or repetition of the loop. If you neglect to update the counter variable, you create what's called an infinite or endless loop. Let's see what that looks like. We'll turn the update assignment statement into a comment. Start the application by pressing the F5 key. Choose the Click Me button. And you'll notice that the label control does not stop after blinking 10 times. This is because the application is in an endless loop. So we'll click the Exit button to try to stop the application. But notice that the title bar informs you that the application is not responding to your click. So we'll click the Visual Studio title bar, select Debug, stop debugging, and that will end your endless loop. We'll remove the apostrophe from before the assignment statement. Run the application again. Choose the Click Me button. Then choose the Exit button. Another way to code this procedure is to use a logical operator called NOT rather than the selection structure that you see in the procedure right now. The NOT logical operator reverses the truth value of a condition. So if a condition is true, putting NOT in front of the condition makes the condition false, and vice versa. If the condition is false, putting NOT in front of the condition makes it true. So rather than using this selection structure, I'm going to remove that along with the end if clause and change false to not LBL message dot visible. What this statement tells the computer is if the visible property of the LBL message control is true, meaning it's showing, putting not in front of it makes it false and assigns it back to the visible property. On the other hand, if the visible property is false, meaning the label control is not showing, putting not in front of it makes it true and assigns it back to the visible property. Let's run the application by pressing F5. Choose the Click Me button. Label control blinks 10 times. Click the Exit button. And this concludes the My Dream Car video.